I like how that light over there is basically like our lighthouse. Just keep heading for that light. Imagine if you were in this situation. Having to try and keep making your way, this direction, just through the snow and the cold.
Embers. Recent.
There! It's her!
Thank the Maker!
I'd like to think someone from a distance saw us, and they were already on their way to check if that was us.
What would you have me tell them? This isn't what we asked them to do.
We cannot simply ignore this. We must find a way.
And who put you in charge? We need a consensus or we have nothing.
Please, we must use reason. Without the infrastructure of the Inquisition, we're hobbled.
I can't come from nowhere.
She didn't say it could.
Enough! This is getting us nowhere.
Well, we're agreed on that much.
Shh. You need rest.
They've been at it for hours.
They have that luxury thanks to you. The enemy could not follow, and with time to doubt, we turn to blame. Infighting may threaten as much as this Corypheus.
Do we know where Corypheus and his forces are?
We are not sure where we are, which may be why, despite the numbers he still commands, there is no sign of him. That, or you are believed dead. Or without Haven, we are thought helpless. Or he girds for another attack. I cannot claim to know the mind of that creature, only his effect on us.
They're arguing about what we do next. I need to be there.
Another heated voice won't help. Even yours. Perhaps especially yours. Our leaders struggle because of what we survivors witnessed. We saw our defender stand and fall. And now we have seen her return. The more the enemy is beyond us, the more miraculous your actions appear, and the more our trials seem ordained. That is hard to accept, no? What we have been called to endure, what we perhaps must come to believe.
You saw Corypheus. What do you think of his claims of assaulting the heavens?
Scripture says magisters to winter servants of false-souled gods entered the Fade to reach the Golden City, seat of the Maker. For their crime, they were cast out as darkspawn. Their hubris is why we suffer blight, and why the Maker turned from us. If such is the claim of this Corypheus, he is a monster beyond imagining. All mankind continues to suffer for that sin. If even a shred of it is true, all the more reason Andraste would choose someone to rise against him.
I escaped the avalanche. Barely, perhaps. But I didn't die.
Of course, and the dead cannot return from across the veil. But the people know what they saw. Or perhaps what they needed to see. The Maker works both in the moment and in how it is remembered. Can we truly know the heavens are not with us?
Mother Giselle, I just don't see how what I believe matters. Lies or not, Corypheus is a real physical threat. We can't match that with hope alone.
Now for one of my favorite moments in this game.
Shadows fall and hope has fled. Still your heart, the dawn will come. The night is long and the path is dark. Look to the sky, for one day soon the dawn will come. The shepherd's lost, and his home is far. Keep to the stars, the dawn will come. The night is long,
And the path is dark. Look to the sky. One day soon, the dawn will come. Bear your blade and raise it high. Stand your ground, the dawn will come. The night is long and the path is dark. Look to the sky, for one day soon the dawn will
An army needs more than an enemy. It needs a cause.
A word. A wise woman, worth heeding. Her kind understand the moments that unify a cause. Or fracture it. The orb Corypheus carried, the power he used against you, it is Elven.
Corypheus used the orb to open the breach. Unlocking it must have caused the explosion that destroyed the Conclave. I do not yet know how Corypheus survived. Nor am I certain how people will react when they learn of the orb's origin.
By the way, this dialogue is a little different if you're playing an elf, because he'll talk to you about this as a fellow elf.
All right. What is it, and how do you know about it?
They were foci, used to channel ancient magics. I have seen such things in the Fade, old memories of older magic.
Lies.
You may think it, Tevinter. His empire's magic was built on the bones of my people. Knowing or not, he risks our alliance. I cannot allow it.
Obviously, we know he's lying about how he knows about the orb, but we find that out later.
If you've something that will help us, now's the time.
Yes, judging by the faithful, now is the time.
Sieging a place like that is not going to be nearly as easy. And to me, this is where the game really gets going. This is where the game really gets underway. I'm not going to say the entire first portion we did was like just the opening or the tutorial, but this is really where the game opens up and starts to get some other stuff going here that was not available.
They arrive daily from every settlement in the region. Skyhold is becoming a pilgrimage. If word has reached these people, it will have reached the Elder One. We have the walls and numbers to put up a fight here, but this threat is far beyond the war we anticipated. But we now know what allowed you to stand against Corypheus, what drew him to you.
He came after me because my efforts put the Inquisition in his way.
Perhaps in more ways than you've considered. Your decisions let us heal the sky. Your determination brought us out of Haven. You are the creature's rival because of what you did. And we know it. All of us. The Inquisition requires a leader. The one who has already been leading it. You.
So what's interesting about this is because this is if we are a mage. This is it because we are a Kunari, which I find to be more the interesting issue here, and she's about to bring that up.
I don't think I heard you right. You want a Kunari as your leader?
We want to make official what is already the case.
But our history...
I am aware of how this looks. Yet you are not your people. You are an individual. Perhaps that is part of your strength. Without you, there is no Inquisition. We all must accept that. But how you lead us, that is entirely up to you.
I love Cassandra's response to that. You are not your people. You are you. You are an individual. Because so many people either forget that or don't even think about that. They see someone, they only see what people they are kind of a part of or, supposed to be. Whereas, no, this is not a Kunari. This is an individual who happens to be of that same race, but that doesn't really mean the same thing. I also like that we get both this one here as either a mage or as a Kunari.
I will lead us against Corypheus, and I will be an ambassador. I'm a Kunari standing for Thedas. The Inquisition is for all.
Wherever you lead us. Have our people been told?
They have. And soon, the world.
Commander, will they follow?
Inquisition, will you follow? Will you fight? Will we triumph? Your leader, your herald, your Inquisitor! So this is where it begins.
It began in the courtyard. This is where we turned that promise into action.
But what do we do? We know nothing about this Corypheus except that he wanted your mark.
Could his dragon really be an archdemon? What would that mean?
It would mean the beginning of another blight.
We've seen no darkspawn other than Corypheus himself. Perhaps it's not an archdemon at all, but something different?
Whatever it is, it's dangerous. Commanding such a creature gives Corypheus an advantage we can't ignore.
Corypheus said he wanted to enter the Black City, that this would make him a god.
He is willing to tear this world apart to reach the next. It won't matter if he's wrong.
What if he's not wrong? If he finds some other way into the Fade?
Then he gains the power he seeks, or unleashes catastrophe on us all.
Corypheus wants to restore Tevinter. Is this a prelude to war with the Imperium?
I get the feeling we're dealing with extremists, not the vanguard of a true invasion.
Tevinter is not the Imperium of 1,000 years ago. What Corypheus yearns to restore no longer exists.
Though they would shed no tears if the South fell to chaos, I'm certain.
Yeah, but we'll talk to Dorian about that.
Could he strike at us here? We can't have a repeat of what happened at Haven.
Skyhold has the bones to withstand Corypheus. After what you did with one trebuchet, I'd bet against direct attack.
We do have one advantage. We know what Corypheus intends to do next. When you were at Therenfall, you uncovered a plot to kill Empress Celine.
Imagine the chaos her death would cause. With his army.
An army he's growing. The Envy Demon gloated about a massive force of demons.
Corypheus could conquer the entire south of Thedas, god or no god.
I'd feel better if we knew more about what we were dealing with.
I know someone who can help with that. Everyone acting all inspirational jogged my memory, so I sent a message to an old friend. She's crossed paths with Corypheus before and may know more about what he's doing. She can help.
I'm always looking for new allies. Introduce me.
Parading around might cause a fuss. It's better for you to meet privately, on the battlements. Trust me, it's complicated.
Well, then, we stand ready to move on both of these concerns.
On your order, Inquisitor.
I know one thing. If Varric has brought who I think he has, Cassandra is going to kill him.
I'm just smiling.
This is the Inquisition. A dusty old ruin filled with
Because I remember the first time I played this, and the moment I heard Varric pipe in and say, I know someone who can help, I remember just, I think, throwing my arms in the air because I knew exactly what was happening. That he was saying that Hawk was going to show up. And I was like, wait, Hawk is going to be here in this game? We don't get the Warden, unfortunately, and I don't know if we ever will get to see our Wardens. I don't know if they are going to be able to do that. I'm sure if they are, in fact, still working on the next one, I believe it's called Dreadwolf, the next Dragon Age game, which I'm keeping an ear open for any news regarding that. But I am not sure whether or not the people at BioWare are ever going to try and figure out a way to somehow bring our Warden from Origins into a future game, like they did with Hawk in this game. Now, people are also talking about how maybe BioWare, having just done the Legendary Edition of the Mass Effect trilogy, maybe they should consider doing a proper remake as well of the previous Dragon Age games, mainly Dragon Age Origins. And maybe Dragon Age 2, considering that it kind of needs it, but, you know, just saying, I think a Dragon Age remaster or even remake would be great. I highly doubt we would get a Dead Space remake, like the one we just got, which is like a legit proper remake. But a remaster of Origins wouldn't actually, I wouldn't mind that, honestly.
Soldiers, if you shut your mouth and open your
But the point I'm making is that, well, let's just say that I wouldn't mind seeing whether or not our Warden could have a chance to actually, you know, come back.
What
Just
do they
saying.
make down here? What can I make?
Hey, Harriet. More schematics. Very nice.
If I hear one more fuller called a blood groove. I've walked away from too many burning buildings for one lifetime. This place, though, it'll be all right. It's Inquisitor now, isn't it? That'll take some getting used to.
You think it's strange to say. It's stranger to hear.
Don't let it go to your head. We need you level. Everyone just got a big, hard reason to hate Corypheus. And we already did, but we didn't have a name. You're the surprise, not him.
You've got it all up and running?
Your basics, like always. There's space here for, I don't know what. This place was built for something big. It'll be a job to fill it.
How is this place shaping up as a forge?
Better than Haven ever could be. Not the way I wanted an upgrade, but ever forward.
I'll be back later.
I'll be here.
This is one of my favorite parts about this game. Getting various different things and letting us customize how we want Skyhold to look. As you can imagine, because we are playing as a Kunari, we'll probably be going with a number of the Kunari Parvalen type of decorations. Even though she's not necessarily fond of Parvalen, because she's not part of the Kun, she just happens to be part of the Kunari race, but she's not really fond of them. Not really. But don't worry, there are more options we can acquire and get in other places like Val Royeaux. Legacy Ferelden. Legacy Kirkwall. This is a huge throne. And this is our Kunari throne for Parvalen there. Windows. Frostback Basin. Ferelden Inquisition. Like I said, we'll be able to acquire more when we go to places like Val Royeaux. I can also now change the tint of my armor. And something else I'm very happy about, not this here. Undercroft Editions. What I'm referring to is this right here. We actually have a storage chest. And I'm very, very happy about that. And can store up to 1,000 stuff. Which is great. In case there are a number of things I want to store away. Because, yeah, collecting stuff and inventory and stuff, now that we've gotten to the portion of the game where a lot more places and areas open up, yeah. Another Hardened Hightown book, lol. So yeah, that's our new Kunari throne. I imagine those spears are going to get in the way at times. Like, camera shots and such. That's just my guess. And that goes to our quarters, which we will check out later. There's Josephine. For now, let's go ahead and head to the war room. We've got another perk. By the way, I also got History Knowledge, which is a nice little extra dialogue option for other quests, so that's great. Pretty soon I'll get a buff from a mod that's going to allow me to basically get every perk. Which is really nice. Go ahead and get that. That way rogues can open the locks now. So you'll see a lot more things have opened up here. And I remember before this mod I found, which removes the timer, it would take forever to try and get some of these done. because I had to basically set these to run and then leave it overnight for these to get done so I could do the next one. You know? And it was just kind of annoying in that regard. But now they don't have to worry about that. By the way, we can go straight to the... Oh yeah, that's right. This is the one that continues the Demon Army quest. But we do have to go meet our friend before we really do that. So, in order to get going with the other next two big quests, which they've already set as either the Demon Army or the Assassination of Selene, we got to talk to Josephine about the Selene quest, while we also have to go talk to Varric and Hawk about the Demon Army. Also, we need to... Also, I think the Frostback Bastion thing is now available. We'll talk to Josephine later. Because right now I believe there's also something else going on involving Cole. Because, yeah, we're in here, but then we get to go out here, and then it's like, whoa, we have even more stuff to look at and go through. Also, look at the new draperies around here. And as you can imagine, there's plenty to discuss with people. Also, it looks like Vivienne's hair is finally working. This is supposed to be the mod I was trying to get working. For some reason, it wasn't working in Haven. Now it's finally working here in Skyhold. So, yeah. We will, of course, be going around talking to everybody because, yeah, we have a lot of conversations to get through. But before we do that, let's find out what's going on with Cole.
Yes, Commander.
This thing is not a stray puppy you can make into a pet. It has no business being here.
Wouldn't you say the same of an apostate?
Inquisitor, I wondered if Cole was perhaps a mage, given his unusual abilities.
He can cause people to forget him, or even fail entirely to notice him. These are not the abilities of a mage. It seems that Cole is a spirit.
It is a demon.
If you prefer, although the truth is somewhat more complex.
And a lot of people don't like complex.
I'm not sure how much more complexity I need, Solus.
Indeed, my dear. He may call it whatever he likes, but it is still a threat.
In fact, his nature is not so easily defined.
Speak plainly, Solas. What are we dealing with?
Demons normally enter this world by possessing something. In their true form, they look bizarre, monstrous.
But Cole looks like a young man. Could it be possession?
No. He has possessed nothing and no one. And yet he appears human in all respects. Cole is unique, Inquisitor. More than that, he wishes to help. I suggest you allow him to do so.
In my studies, demons either possessed something from this world, or were summoned and bound. They almost never look like something you'd mistake for a person.
Normally you'd be correct. But Cole has willfully manifested in human form without possessing anyone.
The demons who came through the breach, or through the rifts, weren't possessing anything.
Cameraman,
These demons
position the camera upwards more.
Driven mad by this world. But Cole predates the breach. From what we can tell, he has lived here for months, perhaps years. He looks like a young man. For all intents and purposes, he is a young man. It is remarkable.
I should hear what Cole has to say for himself.
Tilt the camera up.
He was right.
The cameraman doesn't know how tall she is.
So many soldiers fought to protect the pilgrims so they could escape. Choking fear. Can't think from the medicine, but the cuts rack me with every heartbeat. Hot, white pain. Everything burns. I can't. I'm going to... I'm dying. I'm... dead.
The cameraman is needs to change the angle of this camera. This is driving me insane.
You're feeling their pain?
It's louder this close, with so many of them.
Would you like to go somewhere more comfortable?
Yes, but here is where I can help. Every breath slower, like lying in a warm bath, sliding away. Smell of my daughter's hair when I kiss her goodnight. Gone. Cracked brown pain, dry, scraping, thirsty. Here.
Thank you.
It's all right. She won't remember me.
You're using your powers as a spirit to help people.
Yes? I used to think I was a ghost. I didn't know. I made mistakes, but I made friends too. Then a Templar proved I wasn't real. I lost my friends. I lost everything. I learned how to be more like what I am. It made me different, but stronger. I can feel more. I can help.
So we get yet again another choice about whether or not we want to keep Cole around. If we choose this, he will be like, okay, and then he'll make us, he'll basically snap his fingers and make us forget he ever existed, and we'll be like, why am I here? What was I doing? And then we'll never see Cole again. So.
If you're willing, the Inquisition could use your help.
Yes, helping. I help the hurt, the helpless. There's someone. Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Someone make it stop hurting. Make her, please. The healers have done all they can. It will take him hours to die. Every moment will be agony. He wants mercy. Help.
You say he won't die for hours yet, but you can't know that for certain.
His body is failing.
He could recover, or the healers could find another way to help him.
How do you know?
I don't, and neither do you. That's part of life.
Try. I want to stay.
I know that particular choice is a rather touchy subject for people. I'm sure some of you were probably wondering why I made that choice. Because there was a part of me that wanted to choose the other one. Just go ahead and end his pain. But then I remembered... It's funny. I was recently going through the first 6 Star Trek movies. Those are the original series movies. As part of my progression through the Star Trek material, where I was watching those before I started watching The Next Generation. When I got to Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, I heard it was a bad movie, and, well, they're right, it's not good. There's a lot of bad in that movie. However, there are some good moments in that movie. And I think... Other than the famous line by Kirk, what does God want with a starship? Need with a starship? But the moment I remember the most, other than that, from the movie, which I think was a genuinely good scene, was the scene with McCoy and his father, where McCoy is having to relive the memory of his father on his deathbed, and his father is basically asking his son to end his pain. And McCoy, as a mercy, does. But we find out the reason that haunts him, the pain of that moment haunts him, was because I think it said either, I think it was days later, they actually found a cure for the disease that was killing his father. Meaning if he had not mercifully killed his dad, he could have saved him with that cure. And it haunts him, that decision. And I kind of decided to apply that here. Because this is Thetis, a setting with a lot of mages and a lot of healing magic. And I find it hard to believe that there is not some kind of form of healing magic in this setting that could be able to help some of these people. Even that one that Cole is saying is going to die within hours, but what if within those hours we're able to find a really powerful healing mage that could actually save him? You know? I know it's kind of a stretch, but that's the choice I went with. Besides, it's also part of that moment of trying to help Cole kind of reconnect with his humanity.
He hates it all because of the darkness behind the door. Some doors should stay shut.
I'd like to talk about what happened to you before we met.
No.
I think he won't talk to me about that if my approval with him is too low.
Send men to scout the area. We need to know what's out there.
Yes, sir.
Commander, soldiers have been assigned temporary quarters.
Very good. I'll need an update on the armory as well. Now! We set up as best we could at Haven, but could never prepare for an archdemon, or whatever it was. With some warning, we might have...
We were all shaken by what happened.
If Corypheus strikes again, we may not be able to withdraw. And I wouldn't want to. We must be ready. Work on Skyhold is underway. Guard rotations established. We should have everything on course within the week. We will not run from here, Inquisitor.
How many were lost?
Most of our people made it to Skyhold. It could have been worse. Morale was low, but has improved greatly since you accepted the role of Inquisitor.
Everyone has so much faith in my leadership. I hope I'm ready.
You won't have to carry the Inquisition alone, although it must feel like it. We needed a leader, and you have proven yourself.
Thank you, Cullen. Our escape from Haven. It was close. I'm relieved that that so many made it out.
As am I. You stayed behind. You could have... I will not allow the events at Haven to happen again. You have my word.
I'm sorry, it feels like the cameraman of this game completely forgot that he needs to angle up the camera when there's a Kunari here.
Inquisitor?
Did you leave anyone behind in Kirkwall?
No. I fear I made few friends there, and my family's in Ferelden.
No one special caught your interest?
Not in Kirkwall.
Is there anything I should know?
Repairs to Skyhold's fortifications are progressing. Our scouts report no immediate threats in the surrounding area. We are fortunate Solus knew of this place.
Is there anything I should know?
I'd gotten used to mages disliking me on principle. Vivienne's views on Templars are surprisingly traditional.
I've never disliked you on principle.
Oh, thank you.
Is there anything I should know?
Sarah brought me a piece of cake. She thought I looked hungry.
Why are you telling me this?
Because it was either an act of kindness or a trap. I was hoping you knew which.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
That's all for now.
Another time, then.
That dialogue there made sense to me because, of course, she's a mage. Let's just say I have seen the romance where a female human mage romanced Cullen. And of course, the whole, thing about her being a mage and him being a former Templar, it's kind of a nice little dynamic when it comes to this romance. So we're going to continue going around talking to people. I also have some other off-camera stuff to do in terms of going back to the war table and doing those operations and such. When we return, stay tuned.